at this point in the movie, I'm like, okay, well, here's what you should have done. And I'm thinking...
Yeah, right. It's one of my favorite openings ever.
And I've watched that alternate ending, and it is garbage.
It doesn't go where you think it's going to go.
There's a monster. I'm ready for it to be over.
Well,
But I'm not sure I can even fully explain why I love this movie so much.
I had some issues with this scene.
My feelings on it have not changed.
I fell asleep until the screaming. This is actually where I started enjoying the movie.
This is one of my favorite scenes in all of cinema.
I thought that should have been cut completely.
Fine.
Well, I'm sure it's artistic and you just don't get it. All right, here we are, Fellowship of the Real, Season 2, doing sequels for our first episodes. This time we are doing Ghostbusters Afterlife. This is a pick by Sherry, and we're going to get into that in just a minute. But first we want to do a little thing that Sherry is wanting to put us to the test, to put our money where our mouth is, so to speak. We quote movies all the time. We tried this once and it went off pretty good, so Sherry wants to do it again. We're going to try to guess the line that Sherry has picked out for us. We still haven't got a name for this, so right now it's just Sherry's whatever, and we'll pick a name. And anyway, here's her bumper, which now, like I said, we just need a name. All right, Sherry.
All right, y'all ready?
Ready.
Okay. This one's kind of an old one, so Philip, this might be up your alley.
Oh, okay.
Damn.
Casablanca.
Yul Brynner, 10 Commandments.
Okay, here we go. Stop thinking, let things happen, and be the ball.
Oh, that's Caddyshack.
There you go.
Yeah, be the
See?
ball. You caught me at be the goal. All that other stuff before.
I know, but I can't just say be the ball. I mean, I
Well, you
could
could've.
have. I guess I
that
could
would've
have.
been, yeah.
Have y'all seen Caddyshack?
I have.
Oh, yeah.
Once or twice or 700.
I don't remember it a lot, but yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, that's
That's
on
in the hole.
There you go. See?
The killer of the goofers.
Yeah.
Oh, the golfers. They're going to lock me up
See,
away the keys.
There's a lot of lines, and I know
you get nothing and you like it.
right. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
But I just thought maybe
Yeah, no, you threw me a softball. That's cool.
there you go.
Do drugs,
I appreciate
Danny.
the other guys being
Every day.
quiet too. I knew they knew it. I was like, give the old guy a chance.
I didn't know that one.
You didn't?
did?
Oh,
I didn't.
oh, man.
Oh, okay.
I feel all right then.
All right. The next one is real easy, but I hear it all the time. What's in the box?
7.
Yes.
What's in the box?
Yeah.
Yes. I can't say it like that because that would definitely,
No,
They were
right.
cones.
Yeah. There you go. All right. And then this last one it's just a line I like. I don't know. Philip, you did know this when I said it one time,
All right.
but it's been a long time. So I don't know if y'all will know this one or not. But anyway, I can't quote the very beginning of it because he mentions the name. He says, "I'm sorry," and then mentions the name. But then he says, "I'm terrified beyond the capacity for rational thought."
It's Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Nice job.
Egon's
and
gone
who said
bye-bye.
it? Who said it?
That would be Venkman. No, I'm sorry, Venkman Spengler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought that was appropriate because we are doing
No, that's true. Yeah.
Ghostbusters.
And I like that you brought that up because I'm going to make a point about that later.
Okay.
So, yes.
And before we get started on Ghostbusters, I do think that we need to give a spoiler alert because this is the newest movie
Yeah.
we have talked about.
Yeah, it is. 2001? I'm sorry, 21?
Yeah. 21.
So there may be people that haven't seen it, and we talk about everything.
Yeah. So
So-
it's been
Try to.
about a year and 3 or 4 months.
So watch it first.
But if you're a Ghostbusters fan and haven't seen this, then
So, spoiler alert up front. We're going to be talking about most everything. So, if you haven't seen it,
sure.
feel free to pause it and watch it or continue to listen and enjoy it and watch it and enjoy it. I don't know.
Yeah.
There you go. Thank you.
All right.
Listener advisory.
So does someone have the
Yeah.
synopsis or whatever?
I have it.
Okay.
It's short.
Yeah, I got one that's short, but go ahead.
Well, it might.
It's probably the same thing.
Well, go ahead.
Well, no, I mean, it's your movie, but whatever. In Ghostbusters Afterlife, when a single mom and her 2 kids arrive in a small town, they begin to discover their connection to the original Ghostbusters and secret legacy their grandfather left behind. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
This has some odd numbers, in my opinion. So, according to, I guess I need a bumper, but yeah, we'll get into Money Critics fans. Has some odd numbers. Okay, so audience score is, again, like we talked about with Star Trek 2, it has some, what I'm calling aliens type numbers. Aliens is the highest scores, I think. Maybe Terminator 2 also. 94% of the fans love the shit out of this movie. 94%, which is basically everybody. The 6% I can't even imagine. But only 63% of the critics. So there is this little bit of a disparity between what the critics thought about this movie and what the fans did. I don't know why the critics would call this 63%. That seems way low to me. I don't know what they were wanting. This delivers, well, we'll get into what I think about it at the end. But yeah, I don't understand those scores. Why the critics would not be on board with the fans. Yeah. So
I've seen a lot of mixed reviews online as well. How this is a good movie with a lot of good fan service, heartfelt fan service. And then I've seen other ones that are like there's squishy points in it. And of course we'll go into those things, and I have a few squishy points myself. Right. So I'm not totally shocked by that.
Okay.
Honestly.
Agreed.
Oh wow.
Who are you people?
Sorry.
All right.
I mean, I wrote them down in my notes. If I had them here, that'd be awesome.
I'm sure all that hate will bubble to the surface.
It will.
This had a budget of, I'm thinking, $75 million budget. And worldwide, 204 million gross. So that's 129 million domestic, 74 million international for a $204,334,455 gross. So it killed it, made his money back and then some, based on this 94% fan love. Critics don't fill the seats, fans do. So,
well, I think
they're going to make a sequel. I know they're making.
I think it goes back to the other sequel, Ghostbusters, with Kristen Wiig and Melissa McCarthy. I think that there was such an backlash. Opening. There was like people, they wanted to fill a thing for Ghostbusters, and they put that movie out and kind of missed.
Oh yeah.
Then this one got kind of revitalized. Let's use Ivan Reitman's son to direct it and put some real effort into it. I think they did a great job at that.
Yes.
But I think that's why it was so successful, is because it hit those fan service things really well. It paid homage very well to the original movie.
Yes.
That's why it's successful. I think.
To me, this is like a Terminator. To me, there are only two Ghostbusters movies. The first one and this one. I don't even like Ghostbusters 2.
Oh, wow. I like the second one.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah, I like the second one. I grew up with that one.
No homages to the second one in
Nobody
this movie.
steps on a church in my town.
Sure, yeah.
No, I think...
or is that the first one?
That's the first one.
First one, yeah.
I think...
There you go.
Is it?
This
next...
that's
right. They're driving Liberty. Never mind. Yeah, they're driving Liberty in the second one. Sorry. As you were, James.
This
I didn't mean to
next
interrupt.
upcoming sequel is supposed to be Vigo. What is Vigo? I think it's
from
supposed to bring him back.
from the second one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Feels like
Vigo the
I'm out.
Carpathian.
Well, I mean, I'll go see it. I'll see it, but
that's just the rumors that I had read online. Who knows?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because, like I said, no homages to the second one at all.
No, it's in the same universe. They've confirmed that.
Okay. All right.
So the second one did happen, but they didn't really touch on it at all.
Yeah, because even, I mean, we'll get to this, but even when they're down in there in the mine or whatever, and they're looking at the timeline, they skip to...
Did they?
Yeah,
I didn't even...
Two's timeline's not on there, because they reference 1984, which is the first one.
Yes.
And then, I don't know.
89.
89 maybe, yeah, and there's no 89. Granted, I say they're skipping it, but also, like, it's okay, because Gozer wasn't involved in the second one.
Right, that's what I was going to say.
So it's okay, but...
Yeah.
Well,
but there's not a lot of references to the second one.
Well, with two, I didn't like how they brought Annie Potts back with what's his name,
Louis Tully.
Yeah. And
because she was crushing on Egon pretty hard, wasn't it?
Yeah. And then at the end of this one, Afterlife, the scene after the credits with her with the coin, was that in 2? Because I don't remember that scene at all.
No, that's either a cut scene from 1 or it was in 2. I don't remember.
Damn.
My lucky coin.
We forgot to watch all the stuff when we watched it.
Yeah,
when the credits came.
Well, I think it's funny. She says, "My lucky coin." Well, I can't take that one. I have another one. You know.
I don't.
Yeah, but I don't remember that scene. I don't know that
I've even seen that. This is with Annie Potts.
It's in it's in Afterlife as a.
Yeah, I saw the one with Bill Murray and Sigourney Weaver, and then I remember and that's where we cut it off yesterday. But I guess now that I'm remembering, I've seen one with Ernie Hudson where he's with the car.
Yeah,
but
It's
there's
the old
one
place, but
right
I missed the
before
one with
that.
Annie Potts. Yeah,
It's
maybe I
Annie
saw it in the
Potts,
theater, but I missed it now.
and it's Harold Ramis. It's actually him back in
Yeah,
the
it's a
80s.
cutscene. It's clearly a
okay,
cutscene.
no, I've seen that. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Is that
seen
from
that.
Was
two, or
it
is
a
that from-
cutscene completely? Was it a scene from
I feel
one?
like Phil's
or two?
right, and it's a cutscene.
Yeah, it'd be a cutscene. I've seen Ghostbusters, the original one,
Yeah.
70 jillion times.
Yeah, because he died in 2014,
Right.
and this was 21. So
Yeah.
So, but did they cut it from one?
I don't know.
We don't know if it's 1 or 2. I see what you're saying.
I mean, or was it in two? Because I haven't watched two in forever.
Nah,
Anyway,
anyway. Yeah, so that's Money Critics fans. Fans loved it, critics. But the box office, it's slammed, and they're going to make a sequel, and I think that sequel is probably set up into this with Ernie
yeah, at the
Bring on
very,
the-
very end.
bringing the car back to the fire station. I'm looking forward to it.
And the box comes on.
Yes.
The storage unit comes on.
Yes. That's very cool. All right. We ready to do our beats?
Sure.
Sure.
There you go. All right, so we could talk about this, and I think this movie starts off obviously with a prologue, not an opening image.
Mm-hmm. Because it's the car driving down the road. He's being chased.
Yes, Egon, who we see in silhouette and shadow. I thought they did that very well. The way they,
Agreed. Yeah, they did a really
You
good
could tell
job.
by the hair.
You could tell the nose, the hair. You could tell that's him
yeah,
without being able to see his face very well. So this is
Right.
good. And the music starts up too. I noticed like the signature Ghostbusters music as the Columbia Sony
Oh, yes.
thing is coming on.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
before the movie even really begins, you've got the Ghostbusters music setting the mood already. It was really
Yes.
good. Stacey had asked me, and I couldn't remember the one with the girls, which I agree is way inferior. Did they use Ghostbuster music at all in that one?
Don't know. Don't recall. I think I saw
I'm not
that
sure
one
would have helped,
once.
but you know,
I don't know what that was all about.
it was a waste. Like when Hemsworth's the best part of that, and he was the the goofy.
he was
fucking-
Annie
Janine.
Potts character.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was
Even the car,
same glasses, right? I mean,
right.
if
Yeah.
I remember, even the car in the Ghostbuster movies with Bill Murray is an ambulance.
Mhm.
Isn't the one with the girls actually a hearse?
Yeah.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Big,
Because
big change. Well, that's creative, isn't it?
I thought it was always a hearse.
No,
No, it's
No,
no.
It
it
was
was an ambulance.
Ambulance.
Ambulance, yeah.
really.
Yeah.
I thought it was always, and this one too is an ambulance. I guess obviously because the same one.
car. Yeah.
Why did I think it was a hearse? I always thought it was a hearse.
Because it's a big ass
I always
car.
thought it- I guess, but I just thought it was funny because they're chasing ghosts
Well,
and the hearse
it's,
and
that car was what, from the 50s,
Yeah, it's like a
60s?
50s ambulance.
And then
Certainly
even
wasn't-
and then when Ray gets it in the original Ghostbusters, he pulls up, needs shocks,
Yeah, struts,
Sparks,
transmission, brakes.
$6,400. So this thing was a piece of junk then Ray fixed it up, I guess, and now
Yeah.
it's stuck in a barn.
Yes.
yeah.
Which I thought the reveal, I just thought it was very, anyway,
Yeah.
we'll get into that. Yeah, Egon attempts, now this was, I didn't ever really think about it, but Sherry pointed it out. So Egon has captured one of the minions of Gozer, that like the gatekeeper or the,
Yeah.
Or the Keymaster, one of
Or
them,
the
yeah. Because they
Keymaster,
repeat the
yeah.
same beats at the end. With
Yes.
the kids, where they're racing back to the farm. It's all the same.
yes.
She even holds out the trap,
and
just like
I-
he did.
I am ashamed to admit I never even thought about it.
I don't think I caught it till this time either, and I've seen
Yeah.
it a couple of times.
Yeah.
Like realized, oh, okay, yeah, they're repeating, they're
I
doing
was
it.
just on board for the ride. Oh, this is Ghostbusters. And I didn't even think about the mechanics of it, but yeah, he's got one of the, and he hides it so that the Gozer can't resurrect,
get
right?
it.
Well, yeah, I didn't catch it till last night because it bothered me every time I watched it. I'm like, what is chasing him versus,
It's the other gatekeeper, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a dog.
and then
In the-
when I
in the
saw
fog?
it, yeah, when I saw it, I thought, well, that's what escaped, but he's got it.
thought
And
it was her.
then it occurred to me, it's two of them. I mean, there are two. What?
Because she walks across the field.
Okay, yeah. So if he's got Keymaster, right, for sake of argument, then it's the
The gatekeeper.
gatekeeper is the one that knocks him over into the cornfield, and then Gozer's the one that steps onto the dirt
Yes.
farm.
But the fog that rolls in, is that Gozer or is that a minion of Gozer? One of the dogs. Because it looks like in the fog,
It looks like a gatekeeper, huh?
yeah.
Yeah. Or
Which she could have sent her minion in to get him. I mean, that's not a.
yeah.
But she's clearly on the property because it fails.
Mm-hmm.
And then the dog or the fog rolls in and he dies, having hidden the
Yeah, the box.
box.
Yeah.
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 Because I'm pretty
I was
sure.
thinking, why didn't it just take him and turn him into it? But they needed the other one anyways, and he'd hidden it. So
Yes.
Yeah, they need the
So it
spirit
was just like, well,
box.
fine, fuck you, I'm gonna kill you. Yeah.
Yes. All right.
Yeah.
Now, very early on in this sequence, so the writer, and they talked about this, the writers, the people who made this movie, wanted to give the fans what they wanted. And so very early on, you have all these almost stacked on top of each other, all these homages, right?
It's a nostalgia overload.
It is. Several callbacks to the original Ghostbusters. You got Shandor, you got the Ghost Trap, you got the Ghost Detector, Janine Melnitz, Egon's glasses, the suits, the proton packs, the Crunch Bar, spores, molds, and fungus, and who you going to call. No, that's not all.
The Twinkie in the glove box, too.
The Twinkie in the glove box, right. So that's not all at once, but a lot of those are in that opening sequence.
Mm-hmm.
All these callbacks. The Crunch Bar, to me, I had to remember. That was just such a deep...
I'm going to take back everything I ever said about you, Egon.
You deserve
Hands
it.
him a Crush Bar.
You deserve it. Yeah. To when the jailer calls, who you're going to call. And the original commercial. We're ready to believe you. As well as footage of the final scenes in the original. You know, she looks at the computer. Was it Gruberson gives her the history lesson?
Oh, yeah. The teacher, Paul Rudd.
Yes. Yes. So no references to the sequel. And so, like I said, to me, there are two movies, Ghostbusters and this one. I guess I'll have to watch two if they're going to make the next one based on two or whatever.
Yeah, maybe. That was just the rumor I read.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So this prologue was loaded, and I think they did Egon very well, and it sets everything up. Anything else about this opening sequence?
Yeah, no, I like the way it starts. I mean, I like how it starts, just intense and the sets up the level of the villain and the
yes,
you know what I mean. And then something again. I guess we're kind of talking about stuff that we didn't maybe catch the first time. Felt kind of dumb. Wife made fun of me, but after he, I guess, dies, right?
Yes.
Egon in the chair, the ghost detector, I don't know what you call it, that's underneath the chair.
Yeah,
it lights up after he's gone. So the gatekeeper or whatever comes, gets him, kills him.
Yeah.
And you see his hands there not moving, and then you see the thing light up. That's, I guess, the way I interpreted it this time was that's it detecting his ghost. Like
it could
and
be,
I completely missed that the first time.
Yeah, no, I thought
And that's
And
what
I know she used it throughout the whole movie to like find him, and the mom used it too, but completely missed until this time.
I probably did
when
too.
it turns back on, I'm like, oh shit, okay, it's already registering that he's there as a ghost.
Well, that's what I had to resign myself to thinking is because I was like, man, this ghost thing is over the top. Like he's, involved with manipulating objects around the room, like the lamp and the whole thing.
Yeah.
But then I had to remember this is Egon. He knows those instruments. He knows what can be done. He studied his whole life. So maybe that's the first thing he was doing was, I know how to manipulate this stuff. I'm going to know how to use these instruments basically so people can find me.
Right.
I think.
Well, yeah, I mean,
that's what that scene said to me is, oh, okay, he's lighting this stuff up. He knows how to use it.
Right.
Like in all these ghost shows she watches, there's this very much sense of that if a person has not finished what they needed to in this life, they can hang around or whatever. And Egon clearly has unfinished business that he is desperate to take care of. And so with the arrival of Phoebe, who I think she is like a gem in this movie. She nails it.
I disagree.
You're not a fan of Phoebe? I love this character.
Well,
anyway.
Look, about her, when I saw the first preview and you slowly find out because they show the little marshmallow.
Yeah.
And you see the car. When they showed her, I said, I know exactly who that character is.
No, she looks like Egon.
Yeah. Just like,
no, I thought
of course they made her look like that.
Yeah, I was going to say, she doesn't, like her hair's not like that.
No, but the dark hair, the glasses, the nerdy, I mean.
Yeah, as soon as she's messing with, her opening image, you see her messing with the wall outlet and turning and just her mannerism, like she nailed Egon.
I thought so,
I thought she did a really good job.
I have that as her opening image as well.
But I kind of like feel the same way I do about her in the whole movie. Like James, you said, you didn't, I guess.
Right.
She didn't nail it for you. She annoyed me the first time. Maybe not even annoyed. I didn't latch on to her. I don't want to say I didn't like her. Just each time I have seen this movie, I enjoy it more.
Yeah.
And so I enjoyed her way more this time than I did maybe the first two times or whatever I've seen it. But we'll get more into that as far as enjoying the movie. But
and she is one of the reasons, or her character, the line I had that Egon said, the way he says, I'm terrified beyond the capacity, just he says it like that. And that's how she is throughout the whole.
Overstimulation calms me.
That kind of,
Yeah, I didn't write a line down, but I have a note. Just she nailed his mannerisms, like but I think it was definitely dialogue that helped me. I guess as far as see that and write that note down. I don't remember what she said at the beginning, but
so I have that as her opening image. Well, Phoebe, granddaughter, highly intelligent, mechanical, resourceful, science and learning driven, Callie is the daughter. She's bitter. This is her opening image. Bitter, poor, daddy issues with feelings of abandonment.
Yeah, she's the one who got on my nerves.
Yeah, her too.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of liked some of her banter. I mean,
I understand it. If her father left her and didn't have any contact with her, I can understand it. But
that's because even the Ghostbusters are like, Egon can rot in hell, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really have an opening image for Trevor or whatever his name is, the son.
Yeah.
He was, he almost felt tacked on at times, but I guess I understand why he was there.
That's always a good movie. I understand why that character's there.
Well,
it's Finn Wolfhard. He's real big these days with Stranger Things and all that. He's like, he plugged right into that.
he has the look.
I thought he had the weakest arc or whatever, you know.
Yeah, but he was the star power of this kid,
really?
this kid group of
Stranger
actors.
Things, yeah.
He's the biggest one.
Yeah, okay, well.
And he had to
which
get the
fan
car
went to
running.
see this movie because of the kid in Stranger Things? I mean, this is a fucking ghost.
You don't know?
A lot of
Really?
I'm sure.
Well,
yeah.
So, but because if you're your main protagonist of the story, yeah, it's Ghostbusters. But I mean, I was going to wait to get into this. The Ghostbusters are in it in the last 5 fucking minutes, right?
Right. Well,
It's
yeah,
kids
but
the whole time. So if kids are leading your movie, you gotta. Well, who's the fan base there? You gotta pull, like James saying, pull from Stranger Things is the biggest kid thing going on right now. Yeah.
Well, I was thinking the same thing. You know,
I like podcasts way better than I like Trevor or whatever.
Okay, but
Sure.
But Stranger Things is really huge, and even thinking back to Goonies, you know, having kids
Yeah, no, sure, I get it.
lead the story.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, okay. I didn't have an opening image for him or even a real arc. I mean,
Was Mom's cutting his hair right in the first scene?
Yeah.
And then what's the last thing we see him doing? Right, he matures in some way. Right, he's no longer right. I mean, maybe
he's got a girlfriend.
Yeah, maybe he
He's
doesn't.
there to fix the car.
Yeah, all of a sudden he's a mechanic. At least we set up that Phoebe is,
Yeah,
Egon, basically.
Yeah, gifted and talented.
Yes, but he starts to go to work on Ecto-1, and like he knows
somebody had to drive it, right? I mean, just story wise, like if she's doing the proton pack and the podcast is doing he puts wheels on the trap to drive it, and they're chasing the ghost. Somebody's got to drive the car.
Yes, but there's no like.
Yeah, I'm not saying there's a great arc or anything. I guess that all falls under the umbrella of, well, I can see why he's there.
Yeah,
yeah.
They've got to be
Calling part of
3
a
like
great
the
movie.
original Ghostbusters. Plus, they add the other girl, his
Lucky.
quote unquote girlfriend. Yeah,
Yeah.
to be the 4th later.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all right.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, right. The numbers are the same. Yeah, she's right.
Okay. So I think Callie and Phoebe both have arcs with opening images that are well met at the end, but whatever. The setup, Egon obviously.
Fucking hell, man, you just ruined it. So now, like when Egon hugs him at the end, he's like, I can see why you're here, and he hugs him. You know?
yeah, nice pat on the back, Egon has
Way to
died.
go, Phil.
Well, okay. I like when he started working on the car. I'm like, okay, he knows mechanics. That's cool. I mean,
Yeah.
how about whatever? Anyway, Egon has died, leaving everything to Callie. Callie is poor and being evicted. This is their setup. The dirt farm is all she now has left, which is really just more debt and trouble. They go to Somerville, which is a dump. Apparently, the kids call it a dump. But the only option left for Egon's offspring. The town knew him as the dirt farmer, and he will not be missed. So,
Right.
Dirt
farmer had a family?
Yeah.
All right. I told Philip last night, I had a problem with the whole dirt farmer because in watching it again, you see corn.
Yeah, but
At
he
the
never
beginning?
harvested it.
You see corn when the car's going through something.
I'm sure he
I
didn't plant
understand
it,
he's
I'm
out there digging in the dirt.
Yeah.
Because we know now
Is the
what he
corn
did.
by the house? That's his corn?
I don't know.
Well, she
That's the
thought
thing.
maybe
It's the neighbor's corn.
But that
That
means
could
he
be.
just has a front yard. No, I think it's corn that grew and he just let it grow, and then it probably dies and grows again. Because he's not harvesting, and he's not
I feel
fertilizing.
like what they're referencing on the dirt farm is where the traps are, right? You see all these rows and
Right.
stuff, but to everybody else, it looks like, well, this guy's not
Just
fucking
pushing
he's a
around
dirt
in the
farmer.
dirt.
That's
Yeah,
why,
he's out.
because all they ever see him doing is working on the dirt for
Yeah,
whatever.
burying these
corn
things.
growing
yeah.
over here, he's in the dirt.
Right.
The family settles in for the long haul. Callie to fix
A
up.
lot of bizarre shit.
He was a good customer, though. Callie to fix up the house. Phoebe to summer school. Trevor to get a job and a girlfriend. Okay. Phoebe meets and befriends podcast and expresses. Okay, now, so she's early set up as she disbelieves all things spiritual and ghost wise. We're just meat we're just meat puppets. So
meat puppets, yeah.
Very much science, hard science driven.
There's some good dialogue. I felt like the dialogue is very snappy.
Oh yeah, I like her jokes.
No,
of course you like her jokes. No, but the Trevor, when they're driving there, and Trevor's got his fucking phone out, and he's like, "Oh, there's no bars," and the mom immediately goes, "There better be a bar."
There better be some bars, yeah. What are you, embarrassed? Yeah.
Right. And the Phoebe, be a doll and break into your grandfather's house. I don't know, I like that.
Well, the other one, don't be yourself.
Yeah, I was just about to say, and then she calls that back
To the mom when he's going on a date or whatever.
I love her. Gary, his name is Gary Gruber. She just can't, she's astounded. You're going out with Gary Gruberson?
It's very, very
her bafflement and complete like shock at this.
Yeah, it's very Julia Gulia.
You're right. Meets Podcast, who I really thought I liked their whole banter and their relationship. Encounters Gary Gruberson and Summerleaf. I can't remember what she calls it. I'm saying the wasteland of knowledge that surrounds her, but she says basically it's a training camp for
talking about school.
Yeah, and the students that go there. I wish I'd have written that down. The training camp for serial killers and future felons, or she says something along those lines. Anyway, there must be more than meets the eye going on, though, as someone wants to play chess with Phoebe. She sees it, and I think she initially engages with it, by moving her chess piece. But at this point, I think she's still very rooted in science. And
well, so they're in summer school. Gruberson's there, puts on a movie called Cujo.
Yes.
And I found this gem in the basement.
Yeah. I don't know if you know, there's a pretty entertaining film going on over the next room there.
So he goes back there. He's using summer school time to figure out the earthquakes.
Yes.
He thinks something's going on. So he's science.
Yes, he's also, he doesn't want to be burdened by
he loves science,
by these nincompoops. And neither does she. So I'm calling the catalyst. Phoebe sees the ghost detector go off. Because previous to this, it had gone off in the background when the chess pieces first moved. She neither saw the chess piece move or the ghost detector. Mm-hmm. So to her, at this point, she, I think, probably still very clinical eye as to everything is an experiment subject to testing of the scientific method to her, apparently, So she's neither sees the ghost detector or the chess piece until what I'm calling the catalyst, when she actually sees it and Egon flips the piece across the room, and now she's off with the ghost detector being led down the hall with the lights and stuff.
And she says, "Oh, okay, this happened, or we're doing this." Or,
right, yeah. Still, because she will... So this is the catalyst, and she doesn't necessarily what I call debate it, but she does spend a significant amount of time trying to verify through experimentation what is exactly going on here. Gruberson schools Phoebe. So she finds the ghost trap in, I guess, I thought initially this was where he led her to the lab, but it's not. He leads her to the trap that's buried in the floor. And she takes it to school and is trying to figure out what it is. And Gruberson immediately thinks it's a replica and quickly finds out it is not. And they release the second. Is this the second? This is the minion that he had trapped, right?
Yeah, he trapped it. It was in the floor. Now Phoebe has it. Now they're going to try to open it.
And so they release it. Now, at that point, there's still only one, right? Or is there two now? This is what I couldn't remember.
Keymaster, when
they release that one, are they both?
Yeah, now they're available.
Okay, so they can go possess somebody.
Possess people,
okay, all right.
Hesitate to poke holes. But why does Egon lead her to it, right? It's in the floor. If nobody knows about it, it stays there forever. Gozer can never come back because you got to have them, right?
I think he wants to trap Gozer permanently.
Yeah, okay. And I'm dead now, so let me get Phoebe to do this.
Yes, he wants to finish, I'm assuming. Because
that tracks.
Yeah, I guess that his full plan was the plan that was executed at the end of the movie. He was trying to do all by himself at the beginning of the movie and failed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So he didn't. Fucking douchebag friends were like, he can go to hell.
Yeah. So,
he tried to convince them, according to what Ray Stantz is that.
Yeah.
He tried to convince them and they wouldn't listen, and he knew time was ticking.
I got an issue with that.
So he took all the stuff and says, "If you're not going to help me, I got to do this myself."
I know that's the story they needed to tell, right? Especially with him being gone, I guess. But I don't know, that bothers me.
Me too.
Fuck you guys, y'all went through everything. It's Egon. After all the shit y'all saw, y'all didn't fucking just willing to believe him.
I know. I thought it was pretty shitty on their part. Yeah,
he made an analogy of a Twinkie being the size of a school bus, and you guys were like, "We got to do something about it." And now he's over here saying, "Revelation
into the fucking
world,"
and you're like, right now.
Now,
that was one of the.
Ernie had gone off to make his fortune, and Bill Murray had gone off to teach. Maybe they were in their lives, and this is
they lost faith in Ghostbusters because they weren't making any money as Ghostbusters anymore, I guess.
Yeah. And what he said, went from 10 calls a week down to maybe one, and
right.
So I think they had moved on and just didn't want to get drawn back into it.
I guess, yeah.
But again, that was another one of the things. Me knowing what I know about the internet and YouTube videos, if you put a Ghostbusters, I'm sure there are still people today calling that Ghostbusters number.
I bet you, just to see what happens.
If it was on YouTube, people would be calling it more than once a day, I guarantee you. I'm surprised that, and that was another one of the weird parts of the movie is, the phone maybe rang once, and, who is this kid? It's like, no, that phone should have been ringing 1,000 times a day from all over the world from people wanting to test out a video on YouTube.
Right.
Just like 867-5309.
Yeah.
You sure? Yeah.
That's true.
Because back then it was commercials. They didn't even have the internet really. I don't know how.
Right. Well, and the thing is
she watches the video on YouTube, and this one's what he's saying.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, I got you. Yeah.
So there's still people like that video exists on the internet.
Yes. Okay.
People are going to call it.
Yeah, because they'd never heard of Ghostbusters. He's like, what? And she's like, it's 20 years before we were born.
Oh, and Gruberson shows them the archival footage and this kind of thing and of Manhattan.
Which I like that until you just ruined it. So way to go, James.
Sorry.
Well,
because even back when they released Ghostbusters originally, the first one, that number was a real working number to a Ghostbusters
That's
thing.
cool. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize.
Stranger Things did that too. Like in the last season, there was the pizza guy, one of their friends that runs a pizza place.
Oh, I called it.
You can call the number. and it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
They do that.
That's cool.
Anyhow. Yeah, so they get the trap. Gruberson thinks it's a replica, and then he finds out it's not. And then I guess another sticky point for me. He knows Ghostbusters. I get the kids not knowing what it is, but he knows what they are. He wrote this replica, and his decision is to open it.
Should we see what's in there?
Yeah. Now, granted, they got to have it open so we have a movie, as my wife said, and I'm like, I know that it had to happen so the fucking writer needs it to happen, but
they have this. Science is reckless. Science is chaotic. Science is
punk rock.
Punk rock.
Makes Paul Rudd,
and that's exactly what they did.
Makes him an idiot.
Well, he said it's punk rock. Sometimes you lose.
I get the kids opening it, and I like this movie. Don't get me wrong. Like I like it more and more every time, but
I like it.
Bothers me a little
bit. That like you said, you like it more and more every time. I feel the same way because when I first started it, I didn't like it, and then I identified what I didn't like, and I overcame that, and I was able to enjoy the movie.
Maybe that's what it is. Because when we saw it, like first time we saw it, I think I was probably in the 6%, and everybody else I saw it with was like, "Oh, I love this movie." I was like, "Okay, like the nostalgia's there, that works," but I was just kind of like,
"Well, I absolutely,"
and I still haven't identified. I'm hoping by the end of this, I've identified everything I don't
tell you what
like about it and why it bugs me.
What's for myself? Maybe it might be for you too. I don't know, but I'll tell you later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
it's one I wouldn't put in. Like I wouldn't pick to watch it all the time. But like every time I've watched it, I'm like, I get into it and I'm enjoying it. So it's weird. It bugs me that I can't figure out.
I was upset.
I like it. Don't like it.
I was upset when they delayed it, but I understood.
Oh yeah, because COVID.
I had to go. I think we went opening weekend. Yes. And I think I had a grin on my face the whole
time. Yeah.
I am so enamored of Ghostbusters. They really could do they had me.
Well, they did wrong with the female one.
Right. No, this one I'm talking about, though, because early on I was like, oh, yeah, they're hitting it, man. They're hitting all the stops.
Yeah, because, I mean, I saw the original one in the theater the summer it came out, and we had shirts made with Ghostbusters. And, I mean, that was just the movie.
It was ginormous.
Yes, we loved it. So when this came out, I was just like, oh, yeah.
I think I was still pooping in diapers when that movie came out.
80-something.
84?
84, yeah.
All right, so they release him, takes off.
Trevor and company, Trevor and his girlfriend and the rest of them go to the mine and hear the words Gozer, coming from the bottom.
Mine shaft.
So question on that. So when that happens, right, and they're all hanging out up there and then the thing shoots out, right? Because they look down there and they can see like the orange glow and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Well, later on they get in that same box and go down into the mine shaft. So when it was glowing orange and stuff, they're like, what the hell is that? Was that like when Gozer's trying to come out in the proton packs are holding it back?
Yeah, I think so. It must have been, because that's what causes the earthquakes.
That's what caused the earthquake. I didn't remember there being an earthquake.
Yeah, because it was like a demon was filling that chamber and coming up the pipe, but then they go down the pipe into that chamber and there's nothing there.
Yeah.
I was confused by that too. I was like, there's like a thing moving around down there.
Well,
the only I put together was that it was trying to come out and then his guns that we haven't seen yet at that point hold it back or whatever. Is that what y'all got out of it?
Yes,
I guess so, yeah.
I would have to assume that, yeah.
Okay. Not trying to poke a million holes, I promise.
Because I don't remember there being an earthquake at that point, like you said.
Me either. Yeah, I don't remember an earthquake.
I think there was because they were sitting in that cage at the top of it.
And they had to get out. Yeah. It rattled a little bit or something.
Which, how the town hasn't fenced off that place.
Exactly.
Wow.
kids go up there.
I was like, why did they step on?
Oh, that was another thing. Sorry, before we get too far up.
Yeah.
When they release, when Gooberson and all them release the spirit.
Yeah.
You notice that spirit takes the road and the bridge back to the mountain?
Yeah.
If you can fly, why don't you just go straight to the mountain?
Well,
but it followed the path and the road and up in the thing. Why?
Two-dimensional thinking, sir.
Oh, yeah, good point.
Maybe it's retracing its steps that
Possibly.
Egon brought it out.
Possibly.
Yeah, I didn't think about that at all, James. Like,
I was just like, why is it following the road?
Didn't have a problem with the way it went. I'm like, all right, cool. Off you go.
Bridge.
It's rewinding.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
All right.
Gruberson discovers the ancient map of the Somerville area, which it's a map of Somerville, but it's like ancient Sumerian,
Yeah.
hundreds, thousands of years old or whatever. This is, so I guess I'm calling all this the catalyst, right? Is that what I said?
Oh, so we're done with we're about to head over to the second.
Yeah, nobody's broken into yet.
Yeah, right. No.
Okay.
This is all set. And then catalyst. So these are the things that sort of kick them off, get them questioning.
Mm-hmm.
The debate, I'm not sure there is a proper debate. Phoebe is still feeling out and investigating this whole ghost thing, finds Egon's lab and gets the proton pack up and running, watches the old commercial and makes a note of the phone number, and then tries out the proton pack with podcast.
This is all still debate.
I guess if I had to nail a debate, this would be it, because she's
her breaking into then?
well, the selenium factory, which we'll get to in just a second. It's the next thing, right? So she doesn't really refuse, but she's not ready to embrace what all this means yet. Like, she does not come to the conclusion here that Egon was right, and why didn't you tell me that Egon was a ghost?
No, but podcast says to her, and I think it's after because I guess my break into 2 is earlier, because I feel like discovering the proton pack, repairing it, and playing with it, shooting bottles out in the field, that's all fun and game stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When they released which bugs me, is a break into 2, but they released the gatekeeper or whatever, and he flies off, right?
Yeah.
Or it flies off. Podcast says to her, you know what this means, right? This means your grandfather was a Ghostbuster.
You think that's the break into 2?
I felt you were saying a second ago, you were saying that she hasn't embraced any of that, but there's literally a line in there about, you know what this means, right? And she goes, yeah, I'm not stupid. I don't know what she says, but
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like them discovering the trap and then doing something with it. It's kind of reverse of what you're always looking for going through a doorway, but the thing comes through the door
right.
of the trap.
That's good. I could probably be convinced of that. My only point is that sort of triggered me.
Yeah.
While testing the proton pack, they discover Muncher, right? They hear the sound.
Yeah.
She goes hunting, but she's still not on board. She does make some mention of the selenium factory, and I'm not sure she says something about the apartment complex here. I think she probably does. Factory behind them, and she calls... Okay, so she's in there, and she calls Muncher a ghost. Previously, she had said she doesn't believe in ghosts.
Right.
Podcast like, what's that? It's a ghost. Something she previously did not believe in. And so I'm saying either here or when she emerges from the selenium factory is the break into 2. Because I think before going into the selenium factory, she's still very much testing out this stuff and not really sure what to make of it.
Yeah.
When she comes out, it's a ghost and they're going to go trap it. So I think, but I like what you're saying because she comes to a realization there as well.
Right.
And I don't have a lot of
fun. Her journey is like finding her place. Like her mom says it later, like, I'm glad you found yourself out here or whatever. Right, yeah. She doesn't know who she is, I guess.
Yeah.
Doesn't fit in, right?
Right.
Like in her ordinary world.
Yes.
And then, and a big part of that, I guess to me, the part of the story that works is if she had known who her grandfather was the whole time.
Yeah.
Or even if they'd had a relationship, she wouldn't struggle so much with fitting in because she would know I'm just like him. Like she probably would have gone down the path of being a Ghostbuster to begin with.
Sure.
Right. Because
she
even says his line later on in the car or whatever, right? And correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like you'll remember the older ones more than I do. But when the mom's like, "What is going on?" when in the car after they saved him, she goes, "I'm a scientist." Wasn't that what Egon always said?
Back off, man.
Well, Venkman says, "I'm a scientist." Back off, man. I'm a scientist.
Okay. All right. So it's a callback to them, but it's not necessarily Egon. Okay. Sorry. Get off.
No.
Before we get too far, there was another thing that took me out of that, and it's right there, is when they're testing out the proton pack.
Yeah.
And she's blasting it, and she says that cool line, "Did I hit it?" You
didn't hit it, you destroyed it.
In the original movie, weren't those proton packs super heavy? weren't they at least 80 pounds? And I know during filming they weighed down Bill Murray's even more proton pack just to piss him off. But those things were heavy, and now
she's a 12-year-old. Yeah,
she's a 12-year-old girl, maybe weighs 80 pounds.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, she's just whipping this thing around.
I see what you're saying, but I guess I could let that go because Egon and his little light ghost thing probably like somehow communicated to her, you got to make this weight lighter so you can carry it.
So now she's a proton pack.
We saw her repair it. She's already an expert, right?
And that's another one of the things that's kind of squishy is she's dealt with like amounts of electricity that go into a home.
Well, I know, but she recognizes the parts.
Now she's dealing with a half-life nuclear material.
That didn't bother me. She's Egon's kid, bam, got it.
I think
it's like someone having the force down the road that's related to Skywalker. I'm cool.
But with Egon,
it's all the same.
Egon has the doctor in front of his name. He's gone to all these prestigious schools, MIT, and blah, blah, blah. He's done all these research. This is a 12-year-old girl.
Yeah, but he showed her literally, like, you got needle nose pliers, bam, points to the light, and something was in the drawer. I don't remember what it was. Like, he's there. You got this guy who's got all these.
But she recognizes the parts. You're missing two of these blah blah blah.
She knew some of it, and then he's walking her through the rest of it.
And the drawer opens, and there they are. So plus she knows the volcanic. I'm not
seismic,
an idiot. You know,
seismic stuff.
So while we're eating and drinking, she's reading. You know, I mean, so I didn't
even mocks Trevor for it later. Would it kill you to read a book?
Yeah,
Would it kill you just to tell me?
Right.
And see, that's kind of bleeding into more of. I guess I can just go ahead and say it.
Yeah.
Because I'm almost there. She reminds me of young Sheldon.
Yeah.
The Big Bang Theory, Sheldon, young Sheldon. It was that genius, quippy thing, and I don't like it.
No, that's what I was going to say. I think that character works. And again, I like her more this time, but like, there's a reason why Egon's not the main guy in the originals, right?
Yeah.
Like, you can't, you make that kind of person a main character. It doesn't necessarily work. And that's the same point with Sheldon.
Well, I think that's why they have
make him.
Exactly.
Sure.
They have to have podcasts
and the brother that nobody likes, you know?
Yes. Because you can't have concentrated.
But then
because even her mother says like, oh, science, you know.
But then it goes back to, Finn Wolfhard and podcasts and all these people are not Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray.
No.
Of any. So they put that weight now on Paul Rudd to have that.
And he wasn't in it enough. And you said it earlier, I don't know if you meant it or not. Like his name's Gruberson, right? But you called him Gooberson, which I like because he's a fucking goober.
Yeah, he is, but I
love Paul Rudd. I wanted him to be in there more. Like,
sure, right. But I cannot not like Paul Rudd.
Now I'm just gonna go off on a little bit of a tangent, I guess. But there at the end of the movie, you see Bill Murray come up and just crush it with what's your name? Spangler. Huh? Good luck with that name.
Yeah, you're like, no, it's absolute magic. It is absolute magic. In
5 minutes, he was funnier than Paul Rudd was in this whole movie.
Yeah, sure.
Not knocking Paul Rudd. Bill Murray is godlike.
I like when Stan's like, "Are you a god?" And Stan's like, and then Bill Murray's like, "Come on, man,
come on, Ray,
come on, Ray."
We've been waiting. How many years?
We've been through this, you know.
Yeah, no, they're not in it enough. I mean, in my opinion,
the last 5 minutes. You put them in there, it becomes them.
Sure,
right.
And I think they needed.
This is the next generation. Like,
No, I agree. And like I think they talked about it with Force Awakens. They had kind of the same problem. Like I guess earlier drafts had Han, Luke, and Leia together.
Yeah.
In addition to having the new characters Rey and Poe and Finn, but the screenwriter had said that every time we put, as soon as Han, Luke, and Leia come on the screen, who gives a shit about these fucking new guys?
That's what I'm saying.
So that's why they had to break it up. So I agree with that. It's hard, and as fans, you want to see the originals and. Back to, I guess, Stranger Things, I felt like I liked the Stranger Things kids better than I liked these kids. But I do like her more and more every time I see her. But I think it's because she's awkward.
Right. I love her.
It was intentional. And that's just in my brain that I don't like that young Sheldon type of delivery character with that delivery. So it's not that she's bad. She's not a bad actress. This is a bad movie. But once I noticed that, I was able to enjoy the movie more. Because I was like, I'll just look past that.
Well, the same thing happened, to take it back to Star Trek real quick. In The Next Generation, Wesley Crusher, Will Wheaton, absolutely hated. Because I know you watched the early episodes of Next Generation, and he is an obnoxious little shit. Really genius, and I don't know why the captain won't let me on the bridge. I understand everything that goes on up there. You just want to ram his face into the wall, and that's why he became such a disgusting character, because they made him out to be like this young Sheldon genius, know-it-all, smarmy little shit. No wonder Picard didn't. Who wants that kid on the bridge? I wouldn't want that kid around.
It takes a little bit of, it's like brains are awesome, but that life experience just that's what you need.
Little shitty arrogance,
Yeah.
But I don't feel like she comes off.
No, she doesn't. I like her.
But that's what it reminds me of. And that's why I was like, oh, I don't like it. Oh, wait, that's what it is? No, it's not her fault. It's not the movie's fault. It's me. It's my fault. So
now, Will Wheaton is not anything like that. I watch Will Wheaton doing his shows about Star Trek, and he is just a solid guy, okay? But fell victim to the character, and he was very, very young when he did it, and it became this hated thing. I don't know. Anyway.
So now we're definitely into the fun and games. They're chasing down a metal-eating ghost.
Muncher.
So,
Muncher.
Whether we go with Chris's...
play on Slimer, yeah?
Oh, absolutely was.
Yeah. So if we go with Chris's, we get more fun and games. If we go with my break, we only get really, again, a fun and a game. Phoebe is now on board with her grandfather. Trevor gets, I guess we get a couple. Trevor gets Echo 1 running, and then they're hunting and trapping Muncher.
Yeah, I feel like that's all fun and games to me. And then when they trap him, that's the midpoint, the false victory.
Okay, see.
That's the way I had it.
Right. I have a midpoint false defeat.
Okay.
Fun. So I'm very light on fun and games because I think, anyway, so I have a midpoint false defeat. They're arrested and their gear is confiscated. And and when I saw this, I'm like, is that the midpoint? And I stopped the video or whatever. And it's at 1 hour and 3 minutes of a 2 hour and 3 minute movie. So it's right at the middle, 1 hour mark of the 2 hour movie. So I'm like, okay, well maybe.
Yeah, I think I paused it too to check the time, and I'm like, well, we're halfway there.
I think I might have done that as well.
Just
That's
to check
strange.
it out.
Yeah.
Because they had just destroyed the town.
And they're arrested.
And then they're arrested and their shit's taken. So I'm like, yeah, okay, well, that's false victory, and we're on bad guys closing.
How's that a victory, though?
It's because they trapped them. They trapped a ghost. There's these fucking kids that aren't Ghostbusters trapping the ghost.
Okay, they trapped a minor ghost, but now they're arrested and everything is put on hold.
But they don't know anything about Gozer and all that shit, right? I mean, as far as what they know, it's the first ghost we saw and we trapped him. We were able to use the shit finally, and because the first time they try, he throws it out there and it lands on its side in a little comical beat right when they're in the factory.
Yeah.
And then later on, so he upgrades it, puts the thing on wheels, which I thought was very cool. And then they get the kid who's driving the car. And they chase it down, and they destroy the city, but they...
And that's I mean, it's a fun game.
And then they trap the ghost. It's false victory.
Okay, all right.
False victory because it's not the main guy, and then, they get...
All right, well, I hear you.
And you can't do all this shit, so now you're fucking grounded, and you're arrested, and all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
And then more bad guys close in when she calls, who are you going to call?
Well,
she calls them, and he tells them fucking eat it back of dicks,
Yes, no, right. Well, I have...
He can rot in hell.
Yeah.
Using her one phone call...
Then he immediately feels like an asshole. That's a fucked up move. Egon can rot in hell. He died.
Well, he is. Well, he's in my basement right now.
Oh, well,
And by the way, I'm his granddaughter.
It'd have been really funny if they'd been together. Fake minutes for you.
Yeah, right. I guess I still have this as a false defeat. Using her one phone call, she calls Ray Stantz at the Ghostbuster line and gets some more history or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then I have the bad guys close in sort of where you do. Ray hates Egon. He can rot in hell. Their gear is gone and they can't get it. Mother is mad, hates Egon too. And the mine, Ivo Shandor, and the Death Pit. All sort of bad guys close in for me.
Yeah, Egon's not nuts, but he's an asshole. Welcome to the family.
Yeah, right. So all this is bad guys close into me.
Yeah.
When they're in jail and, Gruberson and their mom comes to pick them up, is Phoebe, right?
Yeah.
She has a really dark turn there. She points the proton pack.
No, she was going to blast the shit out of somebody.
Pulled a gun in a cop in a police station.
It's not just a gun, like something that could vaporize him.
Which has basically destroyed a lot of the town. And
that was a little wild for me. Like she went a little crazy there. I didn't see that within her
She's got no qualms about shooting this thing because because they first shoot at Muncher, right? Then he spits out the metal back at him, which I thought was cool. She immediately pops up and mean face.
No, she's gunslinger, man.
Yeah. So that's I did think it was a bit dark. It's like, what if she did blast the thing? Now he's all melted, and
I think she's.
Who are you gonna call, buddy?
So who are you gonna call? I love that. So, I think, and I guess to defend that, she is when you find out maybe who you are and you get jazzed about it. Maybe I don't. Or goes too deep into it.
I see what he's saying as far as like, whoa, she was trying to fucking blast him. I think it's funny, but to your point, this whole time she's looking for who she is.
Yeah.
And she's finally found it.
And now someone's trying to take it.
And then now someone's trying to take it.
Yeah.
And
no, we need that.
Grandfather,
she reaches for it.
Her grandfather does show that anger. Remember when the guy shuts down the power and he lurches at the guy and says, "Your mother."
And even when they're arrested, "You little," and you go,
"That's right."
Well, maybe that
your mother.
Yeah, he goes, "Your mother."
Egon
your
says
mother.
That?
Egon does. Yeah.
Then I'm even better with it.
Yeah, no, that
that's
makes
a
sense.
callback to Egon. Yeah, that's who she is. Yeah, that's fine then.
Because he was always calm until that scene when the guy shut down the power.
EPA.
Yeah.
And they were,
This man has no dick.
Yeah, it's
Is this true? Yes.
Oh, my God. All right, so all is lost. I have now. Okay, so you're going to have a false defeat. I have a false victory, obviously, right? What is your false defeat at the all is lost?
When the mom's taken. Yeah, they take Paul Rudd and then they take the mom and turn them into.
I have that as the Dark Knight of the Soul. So we're that much off on each one of these because I went a little later on it and you went a little earlier.
Yeah, because that's where I have that next series. Because after the date that Gruberson goes on with the mother, they go to the jail to pick up the kids. Now Gary Gruberson decides to go to the emptiest Walmart, the cleanest Walmart.
Yeah, well, there's probably only one.
That's what Stacey said.
And
she's like, where the hell are all the people?
No people, no other cars
no
in the parking
employees.
lot.
The one in Austin, supposedly, there's lots of Walmarts in Austin, but the one, sorry, not Austin. Oh my gosh.
Dead
Galveston.
air.
Sorry. Yeah. Galveston. And there's probably more than one in Galveston, but the big one there is supposedly haunted. Like the employees won't work nights.
Really?
Yeah. So maybe that's what's going on here with this one?
Maybe.
Yeah. And I mean, because Walmart would typically build in little towns. That was one of the things. Because even in Lawrence.
Because you got to have the shit and come right
where
here.
Where Sherry's from is a tiny little town, and there's a Walmart. You know?
Well, it was originally in a smaller town than that near us.
Yeah.
Years and years ago, before they even popped up everywhere. It was in a.
That was their model. They would go to small towns instead of.
Yeah.
Yes.
But anyway, so it's this pristine Walmart. Yes. It looks like it just opened with no customers in it. Then he finds the marshmallow.
And doesn't seem alarmed at first. That sort of drew me out a little bit.
He makes a face, right? He's like.
He's playing with them first. I'll start seeing this, and I'm a Ghostbusters guy. I'm like, oh shit, some evil is coming, because the only time these things appear is when shit's about to get real, and he doesn't really get alarmed until it bites him.
Right. They said they should redo that and make it Ant-Man instead of a little marshmallow guy that he's playing with, playing with himself. Did you notice also the ice cream he grabs is Baskin Robbins? And
from Ant-Man.
From Ant-Man.
Oh, I did not.
He worked in Baskin Robbins after his stint in prison.
I did not.
I've not seen Ant-Man.
No, I haven't either.
Ant-Man's not bad.
Y'all love Paul Rudd? You should check out Ant-Man. Yeah. You don't have to watch the 4,000 other fucking Marvel movies either. Just watch the Ant-Mans and you'll be fine.
All right.
But yeah, so he's attacked by, what was it, the Keymaster, the dog.
How do you tell them apart? Yeah, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. I don't remember. I don't even know which one. Yeah, they are. Which one they become. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's they get hit, and then it shows a scene with the kids going down into the tomb.
Yeah. So I have bad guys close in all what I just said.
Right.
The mine and Shandor and Death Pit. That's when they go down.
Yeah.
They go there after breaking into the jail.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, because they have.
I was thinking breaking into jail was breaking in 3, but
hold on.
Yeah, I think you're right.
No. Break into 3. Muncher is released to get their gear. I have that later.
Yeah, that's later.
The jail is later.
So they go into the tomb.
Because they're out of jail. Their mother bails them out. I think they go into the tomb and
they go into the tomb to figure out what's going on.
They're in the tomb while Paul Rudd and Mom are getting turned into gatekeeper
stuff.
Yes. Okay, that's all bad guys close in and all's lost to me. Yeah.
Okay, I have all's lost. Egon was right all along. They're the true love and sacrifice of Egon as Callie discovers her father loves her deeply. So I'm calling it a false victory because up to this point, Callie hates her father. Now she discovers that his whole life he really loved her, but sacrificed all of that because he knew this was coming. And Phoebe saying Egon was right all along, I have that as a false victory because it's a definite change of mindset for both of them. And then the Dark Knight of the Soul, Callie is taken as a minion of Gozer, is what I have.
Yep.
Yeah, all right. No, I see that tracks.
And then it's break into 3.
Yeah. I have down the sliding pole into the 3rd act. They slide down. This isn't a farm, it's a trap when she discovers. So basically they come out of the house. Maybe that's when the 3rd act, a door if you want to.
Yeah, because they suit up and everything.
Yes. Gathering the team, arming up is what I have. Trevor, Callie, and Podcast will lure Gozer back to the farm while Lucky, I guess, meets them at the farm to flip the switch and help trap them. So their job is to lead them back to the farm, and Lucky is there because they split up.
Who's Lucky?
Lucky is Trevor's girlfriend.
Right.
The girl
I didn't know her name. I had to keep looking it up. But yeah, so
her name is Lucky.
Because when they're
sheriff's daughter.
Yeah, sheriff's daughter. Like he calls her Lucky. I don't know why. But when they are suited up and the three of them are in Ecto-1, she's in another car.
Yeah.
Means and when they get to the farm, she's there, busts out with the proton pack, ready to flip the switch.
Right.
Gathering Trevor, Callie, podcast Lord goes at the farm while Lucky will wait for them to flip the switch. Muncher is released to get their gear. Storming the castle is obviously the mountain. They rescue Mom and remove a minion of Gozer. The Keymaster pursues.
Yeah, they slide that little car on wheels after distracting Gozer.
With the jokes.
Yes.
Yeah, they suck the soul out of they suck the Keymaster, whiguever into the thing.
They save their mom. Yeah, the mom is, go home, man, you're drunk. I just dig her, man. I don't know why.
Well, I feel like they set up the jokes well, like because she's like, don't be afraid to start a conversation with somebody. He's like, what?
That's a terrible idea.
Tell her. How are the jokes coming? And then she tells jokes, and he's like, see,
they make up everything. That's brilliant.
Yeah, and then
it's so bad.
And then the jokes, they use them on Gozer of all people.
Yeah. Are you prepared to die? No, I'm 12.
Right.
Are you?
Right.
Then she says, "Are you?" Like,
which is also
I thought there was a glint in her eye. I'm like, there's some steel in this girl. Yeah. Are you?
And that's Olivia Wilde is Gozer.
Now I will.
Right.
Yeah.
Who was Olivia Wilde?
She was in Tron. She was in.
She was married to Jason Sudeikis for the longest
that's
time.
what she's probably known for lately. Married to him and
because I'll tell you
him to
this:
create Ted Lasso, and then
you don't get a good look at her in the first one. I guess a little bit, but in this one, I was like, man, Gozer's hot.
Right.
I was digging Gozer.
Yeah, look her up. Yeah, she's definitely very attractive. But
yeah.
I thought they did a good job, though. I thought she was a good choice to try to mirror, to be the same character.
I didn't even realize that was her.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know who it was, but I was like, that's a good match for...
But the original, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, she's all right. Send me that link.
Yeah, she's all right.
Anyway, storming the castle, they rescue Mom and remove a minion of Gozer. Keymaster pursues. Hightower surprise is what I'm calling that the trap fails, and Lucky has made the new minion. So they're storming the castle. They think it's going to work. It doesn't work, and then one is taken, Lucky. They have to have a new plan. I call it the band back together, but they suffer a setback until everyone, I'm glossing this over, is able to work. So yeah, the new plan is, hey babe, we're back or whatever. The Ghostbusters have gotten back together.
Right.
But even that is sort of a setback, and they all have to work together.
Mm-hmm.
Across the streams, all of them. And so basically I'm saying all loose ends are tied up. Family issue solved. Ghostbusters realized that Egon was trying to do. They actually apologized to him. I basically have all old wounds healed. Daddy issues resolved. Everything wrapped up neat in a bow.
The actor that played Egon, the actual actor,
the stand-in.
Yeah, it was I forget his name, but he was the warden in Shawshank Redemption.
Is it Bob Gunton?
Maybe.
Who was the warden in Shawshank?
You'll know him if you saw him.
Okay,
But he is a notable actor. Yeah, that's him.
Let me see.
That's who they got to use.
Nice.
Oh,
Because I didn't
Really?
realize that
Yeah.
that
he
was
does not look like.
No.
I mean, they obviously did CGI and shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the actor they used for that performance
Yeah.
and then CGI to face. I'm like, why use him?
Could have used anybody. Could have used a broomstick,
But
right?
he's fantastic.
No, he is.
He's fantastic in everything, but they covered his face.
Yeah,
I
that's-
didn't realize that it was a person until I was going through the list just now, and it says he's the ghost.
Yeah, he's Egon's ghost.
The ghost. It doesn't tell me the whole thing.
because that is absolutely.
Ghost farmer.
You
or
talk
something.
about how they superimposed the young Schwarzenegger on,
Mm-hmm.
but this was incredible.
Yep. No, agreed.
Absolutely incredible how they.
Yeah, they did a really good job with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just blows my mind that they used that actor for that.
Yeah.
And then old footage from the previous movies of Egon and put it in there, and then but they couldn't just leave it like that. Obviously, they had to age him.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
So
no,
it was-
right.
yeah.
No, absolutely.
So yeah, they did a good job.
Oh, there he is with his Shawshank.
Sure. Yeah.
And then, as he disappears into the stars, they say for
hair.
It gets me, man. It
Yeah.
is absolute hitting on all
when
cylinders.
she's doing it by herself, and then you see that his hands are there with her. That's good stuff.
No, it's like playing minor chords. You're going to trigger emotions with this stuff.
Yep.
And if you love like I'm so enamored of Ghostbusters, the first one, that this is I keep calling it a love letter to Ghostbusters. This movie,
Yeah. No, I think it is, and I also think it's interesting. I just read a little bit about it, but like with Ivan Reitman directed the first one, right?
And he had some issues with his father, right?
Yeah, and then Jason did this one. They had some issues with his father, so it's almost like it feels like to me like he was getting his own, closure and resolving his own issues with his dad by coming back and making a Ghostbusters movie.
What's the guy that plays Egon? What's his name?
Harold Ramis.
Yeah, he was big on Caddyshack, right? I think he wrote Caddyshack, right?
Him and Aykroyd wrote the first Ghostbusters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, yeah, and I think he wrote and directed Caddyshack, or at least wrote it.
Yeah.
And he did. I think he directed Groundhog Day too.
Yeah, that sounds right.
That's when him and Bill Murray really
broke apart.
The first time I remember seeing him was in what was the Army movie they were?
Stripes.
Yeah.
That was
Army training, sir. Yeah. That's good stuff. Yeah, so any other, I guess that's my breakdown. Any other thoughts or?
No, I think I vented as much as I could.
Well, I think,
it bugged me.
I seriously think that I can't see any flaws in this movie. I'm sure they're there. I'm sure you're right. I mean, it's got to be. But there's such an attachment, I think, for a lot of the fans that they were so grateful to finally get what they wanted. I mean, I don't even try to. I don't know. It's just.
I don't know. I still you want to see more of because James is right. As soon as they come on the screen at the end, you're like, fuck yeah.
No, that's
and you enjoy every minute of it. And yeah, Bill Murray and his 5 minutes, 10 minutes of screen time, fucking nails it. It's fucking Bateman back, and I don't give a shit that he's way older now. He's funny as shit, and he's nailing it
100%. But if you put them in there, like you said, it's them.
You struggle with it, yeah. I don't know. Maybe I would have been happier with that, or some sort of if you're trying to pass the torch, right? Have the Phoebe character being an adult. Right, and then that teams up instead of a kid, and teams up with the aging Ghostbusters.
I thought that would have been the only way that this movie could have been better was to age up all of them.
Yeah,
instead of being 12, 14, 16, whatever they are.
Yeah,
make them in their mid-20s.
You're making
college students.
Yeah,
something like that.
Because they said they're making a sequel, so it's still going to be kids fighting Ghostbusters, or more guys are coming back now, or
Eddie
what do you do?
He has wheeled in the Ecto-1 into the fire station.
Yeah,
and saying something, "I'll get you back, girl," or whatever. Lovingly talking.
That leads you to believe that it's going to be the original guys, right?
Yes. Now there was some articles. Ernie, the guy who played
Ernie Hudson. Yeah.
Ernie Hudson, the guy who played
Winston
Zedmore. Yeah, I like him in Ghostbusters, but apparently. Like in Ghostbusters 2 or okay, so I guess in the original script, he was brought on very early, with the others. But then that was changed to where he was brought on as a hired hand. And he loves Ghostbusters and he's not charging racism or anything, but he does feel a little miffed that he wasn't on the poster and he's considered like an add-on by the studio in the writing of the script. He was parts were reduced. And he said, if I'm going to do Ghostbusters, this character is going to be a full part of it, or I'm not doing it. And I'm thinking that he's going to be right on there, if not probably the star. I don't know how much longer Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd can do them or whatever.
If they even want it. I mean, obviously Dan Aykroyd owns the IP and the story, so he's down for a Ghostbuster movie every year.
Yeah.
He can pay the bills. But Bill Murray, he doesn't even answer his phone. I'm sure.
Now this is interesting. Bill Murray doesn't have an agent. He has a phone number.
Right.
That you can call and pitch an idea. And if he likes it, he'll call you back. Doesn't matter who you are.
Really?
Yes. I don't know that number. I don't know where you'd find it, but I've heard him say that, and other people say that.
I know where he lives.
He doesn't, Charleston, but doesn't have an agent. If he likes your idea, he'll do it. Call that number.
So send in your Bill Murray scripts, huh?
Mm-hmm. People that have worked with him even says the day of production, we weren't sure he was going to show up.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. But he did. But he's very. At that point, he was very.
But didn't he just get in trouble for some movie that they shut down? He said something or whatever.
Mean stuff because he
has a reputation of being a dick, right?
Well, at some point because he made a movie, this Zen movie or whatever it was. At some point in his life, he was involved in a very Zen kind of life view, because we watched this documentary and in Meatballs, there's this scene. It just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. Well, that was his whole philosophy of life, that not that nothing matters, but you can't let little things hang you up. You just got to act like it doesn't matter and move on. So he had this very spiritual kind of Zen outlook on life for a while.
Right.
And so if he was told to show up at noon, he would get this attitude from him it just doesn't matter, but he would be there. Since then, I don't know if he's gotten
there or not.
Older and more cantankerous and cranky or whatever, but
he's Bill Murray. He mostly gets away with showing up to people's parties and
he would show up
all day.
There's stories of him showing up washing dishes at somebody's party and then playing drums for.
Yeah.
Anyway, but it looked like Winston Zeddemore, Ernie, is going to have a major role because he was the one showcased at the end with fixing up.
Right.
And I'm fine with that. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Still paying for Ray Stance's occult bookshop. He'll make a profit one day.
Right.
Raise a cult.
Raise a cult. Yeah, that's it.
And Aykroyd's really into that stuff.
Oh yeah.
No, yeah.
He's got some stories.
His parents or his dad was a ghost hunter, wasn't he?
Really?
Yeah, like his family lineage, they were all into that stuff.
And I'll be honest, when Ghostbusters came out back in 84, all the little instruments they used and then the scientists doing, I was sitting there going, this is not real. This is just this is a comedy. But now that I watch all these ghost shows, they have their own little instruments and even before these ghost shows, the people back, I don't know what year, the Holzer
Files,
yeah, and what's the two, the Conjuring, Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Oh yeah, the Warrens, yeah.
I mean, I guess they weren't too far off.
Maybe.
Well, yeah.
Of the using the instruments to track things and
it's like the science fiction is science fiction before it's science fact. Like even in Star Trek, they were using things.
Oh yeah, no,
imaginary things that would actually come to pass.
No, there's a whole documentary about scientists and physicists who were inspired by Star Trek, and then a lot of that Star Trek stuff is
he had that flip phone in that movie,
right?
Well, the communicator, yeah.
Yeah, but it was just like a flip phone.
It always did that.
I always wanted one of those, and now I have one, and I forgot it at home today.
Anything else?
Only under a replicator, you could just go get you a new one.
I'm saying, right?
Good stuff. Yes?
Pass.
Oh, yeah. Anything else about this movie?
No.
All right, let's do our pass, consider. All right, this was Sherry's pick. You start off?
Oh, you want me to?
Sure.
Okay. Like I said, when I saw the previews, I could not wait. And it was a added plus that Paul Rudd was part of it. I know y'all have issues, but
I like Paul Rudd.
I know that, but still you said
more of him. They wanted more of him.
Oh, they want more of him.
He was a goober.
Yeah.
Gary Gruberson? You're dating Gary Gruberson? Sorry.
But now you made me lose my
Sorry. You like this movie and you recommend
love Paul Rudd and we hate him.
No, the reason I picked it is because, like you said, we were doing sequels, and this is the sequel that you expect to see 30 years later.
Sure.
From a movie. I mean,
basically, yes. I agree. I think they make a good point that they would have liked to have seen more of the originals, but as soon that's like, as soon as you put them in there, that becomes the thing. So it is very much.
I was fine. I was fine with not seeing them.
There were so many homages. I think you did get them, just not.
I think
physically.
This movie. I think the first one, it was more of a comedy to me with scary parts. This was more dramatic with funny parts, and with a lot of the same music. I mean, everything.
Oh, it was totally, like I said, a love letter, I think. Too.
Yes, and I think it was done. I think it was done really well. Yeah. But that's why I picked it.
Yeah, no, I
highly recommend.
I probably do not see this movie as clearly as some because I love it, and I love it because it's such a callback to the original, and so I absolutely recommend it, but probably over love this movie, maybe.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
I think I'd consider this movie because I just love the first one so much.
You're right.
That if I'm going to invest, because this Afterlife is 2 hours. It's a 2-hour movie.
Yeah, it is 2 hours.
Ghostbusters is an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Why invest 2 hours in something I'm kind of going to enjoy? I can invest an hour and a half in something I know I'm going to enjoy.
Right, sure.
So I'd rather just watch the original one. This one's not bad.
Yeah.
I'd watch it again, but it's nowhere near as good as the first one, in my opinion.
Sure.
And I think if they'd aged up the characters instead of being young teens to young 20-somethings, I think it might have been even better. But this isn't bad.
No, I'd be very interested to see, because I think they're probably going to lean more towards what you're saying in the next one. They would almost have to, really.
Right.
Yeah, even if they use the same kids,
they're going to be older. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a consider for me. Because I mean, obviously I like the first Ghostbuster movies, and if you like those, then you got to check this one out for sure. Don't check out the one with fucking Kristen Wiig. That's so terrible. I was really disappointed in that.
Oh my God, I was so mad.
It doesn't count to me. It's worse than Rocky V, probably even.
Just a steaming pile.
But they were saying, sorry, like I can pinpoint specifically. They were saying that in Ghostbusters Afterlife, there's a scene where the proton pack turns on.
Yeah.
And it's just like the original one. It kind of sings, and it's like, ooh, yeah, it's a proton pack.
Yeah.
In the other Ghostbusters with all the ladies in it, as soon as a proton pack goes on, you hear Melissa McCarthy go, ooh, listen to that thing purr. It's amazing. It's like, well, no, we want to hear the proton pack.
Yeah, we don't want to hear you
Melissa McCarthy saying, listen to that baby purr.
They
just overdid it.
I don't know why they even agreed to do, like, if I'm any of those actresses or actors, I'm like, no, this,
right.
That's almost toxic, because you're touching something that is so beloved that if you screw it up, you're going to be hated.
Right, and Bill Murray's in it, but he's not even himself. He's a different guy,
Yeah, a cab driver of some kind.
Exactly.
I don't know what.
Well, that was Aykroyd. Yeah, I forgot he was in it.
Yeah,
Bill Murray gets like blown out the window or something.
Yeah, he's not. But he's not.
But neither one of them are their characters. Yeah. What?
I don't understand any of that. I don't understand.
Let's make a Terminator sequel and have Arnold in it, but he's not a Terminator. That's what they did there. It's dumb.
He's a hot dog vendor.
He's a hot dog vendor. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't mean to tread on your stuff.
Yeah, no, it's fine. No, just consider. I agreed with almost everything you said, James. I guess we kind of feel very similar to the movie. And I agree, it's not a bad movie. Like, it bugs me that, like I said earlier, like, I feel like most of the time I can pinpoint why I don't like a movie or don't want to. And it's not even that I don't like it. It's just there's things that bug me about it. But then when I watch it, I'm into it. I'm enjoying it.
No, right.
It's not like it's stuff that pulls me out where I'm like, ugh.
Well,
but it's not one I would pick. Like James said he'd watch it again. I remember thinking, would I watch it again? Yeah, I guess if somebody said, hey, let's watch it, I'm not going to necessarily pick it, I don't guess. But
I guess I'm the opposite. I can't really tell you why I like it, except it's Ghostbusters, and they talk about the first one. It's an homage,
and all the homages and the nostalgia. It all works. It's all done really well. So I don't know.
Yeah, they have me for reasons maybe I can't articulate as well as I'd like.
Yeah, I think I just didn't connect to the main characters as much as I would have liked.
Sure. It's never going to be as good as the original.
Sure.
And that's fine. But this, I think, with this director, these writers, I think they knew that. They're just like, let's put out the best thing we could. And this is the best type of sequel.
I think they knew what here's the red meat the fans want to see. They want to see Ecto. They want to see the packs. They want to see, Egon's suit. They want to, but
also a story that is entertaining.
Yeah, I thought the story was basically okay.
This one has a good.
I think passing the baton or the torch stories are probably hard to do.
Absolutely,
and do well, but
especially 30 years later.
But I felt like I was just thinking about that. Like, so they did them with the Star Wars movies, right? Like, I would go see another Star Wars movie that doesn't have Han, Luke, and Leia in it. Like, if they make another one with Rey, Poe, and Finn, I'm down. I'm going to go see it. Now, granted, I love Star Wars, so maybe back to what you're saying, some of that clouds my view of it. But, and I like Rocky too, but like, I'm down for Creed 3, like, super excited. And Stallone's not in that at all.
Yeah.
And I'm just as equally excited about it. So I feel like if you, I don't know, I mean, I connected to those, I connected to Creed and the new Star Wars characters more than I did these kids, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, well, so I was always an original series Star Trek, and when the Next Generation came out,
what the hell is this?
Yeah, why would I watch that?
Yeah.
But then you warmed to it, and now I love it, and I watched all the rest of the series now. But I can remember initially not being that interested in even seeing it.
Sure. Yeah, and maybe, like you said, they make a sequel, and I see these kids again in the second one, and completely change their mind. I don't know. Maybe that happens.
I think they almost have to go back to New York the way this one ends.
Yeah. Okay. Can I add something too? Yeah. With Harold Ramis passing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate them addressing it because every time I watch this, and I've watched it several times and I've listened to it, put it on in the background. Every time the original Ghostbusters start talking to the ghost of Egon, I start crying because I'm like, are they really saying goodbye to their friend?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
I really think they are. I think that it's not just the character saying goodbye, but I think it's the the people saying,
Sure.
Yeah.
this is, I do that again. This is
one of these, you wouldn't have a problem.
I know.
$99 can be yours.
Whatever. This is a love letter to.
No, absolutely.
Not just Ghostbusters, but to him. Yeah.
Yeah.
To
Right,
Harold.
right.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And
I'm going to cry thinking about it. I mean,
No, Stacy got teary-eyed, and every
she,
time
yeah.
I think, and
Yeah.
so, and all that works. Like, I don't disagree.
No,
with
they
any
know
of that.
where
That
they
nails
know
it.
You
where they're
realize-
hitting.
So I don't know. Like, I guess I wanted more of that. That's like part of my favorite part of the
Sure.
movie is the
What's
I
it-
know, but
what's
you
it
don't
like
want the
having
whole movie
emotions?
like that.
like
You
having
don't want the
emotions.
whole movie like that.
No,
but when Harold Ramis passed away, I remember just all I could think of was thank you for the laughs because of everything he's written or been a part of.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Well, I can remember when, watching it the first time and hearing Bill Murray in the back. He speaks before you see him. But the Ghostbusters shown up, and Bill Murray's like, "Hey, babe," and I don't know if the crowd cheered. I think inside I was like, "Yeah,
Right.
here they are,"
Well, because then the new characters we're losing. Yeah, we're getting their asses kicked, and
Right.
you didn't think they were going to show up because Dan Aykroyd
Right.
blew her off. Yeah,
Yes, but
so
obviously
all that from a story standpoint works very well.
Yeah, no, yeah,
But yeah, and then
that's the
James
thing.
is like James was saying, he comes in and nails it. He's fucking Venkman
Well,
after 30 years.
We've talked about this before. Like, if you can not have an audience for the first 90 minutes, but if you
Well,
can nail
in
them
the
at the
end,
end,
yeah.
you've got them. And I think that.
They do that, yeah.
I think by the end, when they show up and everything, whatever happened before, I love it. I don't remember loving it, but I love it. Because here's the end, and that's anyway. Yeah.
well, try listening to it without watching it because like I said, I have put it on and just worked.
Yeah.
While I'm listening to it, the music,
Sure. No.
just the whole,
They're hitting on all stops, man.
yes, the whole vibe. I mean, the whole thing of it.
Yeah.
Just
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and
there's
you'll
more
pick
stuff that
up-
works than doesn't for me, for sure. Even we didn't talk about it a whole lot, but even the little marshmallow guys. Like the one gets run over with a fucking Roomba,
Yeah,
and one
that's
gets
cool. No, that's very.
chopped up in the blender. That's good shit.
No, I enjoy every
In
bit
the
of that.
Walmart, they annoyed me, but as a kind of set decoration later of something for podcast I have to fight,
You sure?
like, it totally made sense.
Yeah, right.
I get it.
Yeah, and it's nice because it worked as an homage to the first one of him coming out all covered in
yes,
the marshmallow.
Somebody's going to walk out of here covered in marshmallow.
Yeah, that's good. I got my own problems. Anyhow.
No, I liked podcast. I liked him a lot.
Oh, I really like.
Why do people call you podcast? Well, I call myself podcast.
I see a lot of you in that character.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you have all of this on a thumb drive that you can just readily hand to
I have
somebody?
the
or?
MP3 saved. I can put it on a thumb drive and start chucking them at people.
All right.
Anyway, so all right, so we good?
I think so.
All right, well that is Ghostbusters Afterlife. We are out. Why do people call you podcast? Well, I call myself podcast.
Yeah.
Gary Gruberson? You're dating Gary Gruberson? She is like a gem in this movie. She nailed it.
I disagree.
Which I like that until you just ruined it. So
Sorry.
way to go, James.
Sorry.
Well,
In 5 minutes, he was funnier than Paul Rudd was in this whole movie.
Yeah, sure.
But once I noticed that, I was able to enjoy the movie more.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I'll just look past that.
Then she says, "Are you?" Like,
Yeah, which is also
I thought there
very.
was a Clinton or rhyme. I'm
Right.
like, there's some steel in this girl. Yeah. Are you?
But that would have been the only way that this movie could have been better.
I think by the end, when they show up and everything, whatever happened before, I love it. I don't remember loving it, but I love it. Fix
a
up.
lot of bizarre shit.
He was a good customer, though.